So what's going on, everybody?
Hey.
What's up?
This is.
The truth response.
Oh no, we're not doing that. That's my line.
That's our.
No,
Do we have taglines
now? So yeah, well, it is the truth response, but we are going through the 10 Commandments right now, and in a series, of course.
Yeah,
because those are fun sometimes, and we just finished up our second one.
Yeah, we did.
Was the first 3 commandments.
Yeah.
The first episode was about why was God giving his people
why did the 10 Commandments have to be? Why did he give them to that people at that time?
Right, and we talked about the first 3 commandments were very much all about like us and response to God and relation to God.
Yeah.
And this one is this one's a little different. It sometimes gets lumped in with those first 3. And originally we were going to do that, but I feel like it's
we can
really
spend
good
more
to have
time
it separate.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Because it's not as much in relation to God, although it is. But it's also very much in relation to ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And that is remembering the Sabbath and keeping it holy. I think this is one that is misunderstood a lot. And this is just from my thoughts and from recent experiences, right? But I think this is going to be a good conversation. So, why don't you read the Exodus passage to kick us off?
This is also in Deuteronomy.
It is in Deuteronomy as well.
But as all the 10 Commandments are. But
now, do you like this book?
I love this book. I love both books.
This is his favorite book.
It's his favorite book.
I love the book
right
of Exodus
this moment.
So much. And this chapter is such a good chapter.
And that's Deuteronomy 5, by the way.
Yes.
If you guys.
Yes, Deuteronomy 5. Anyway, so I'll be reading verses 8 through 11. And it states, "Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work. But the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord your God. In it you shall not do any work, you or your son or your daughter, your male or female servant, or your cattle, or your sojourner who stays with you. For in 6 days the Lord made the heavens and the earth, the sea and all that is in them, and rested on the 7th day. Therefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and made it holy."
Cool. Yeah, we're probably going to ruffle some feathers with some viewpoints. I'll probably be the one ruffling feathers.
That's okay.
He
Yeah,
probably
it might be
he probably
someone
has a
in the
more
group.
traditional
Maybe
view. You
something.
probably have a more traditional reading belief on that. But
Maybe. We'll see.
But
I actually,
that'd be
my understanding of this has just continued to expand
yeah.
as God has applied it to my life, faith, and walk. So
Yeah. And once again, like as we're going through these, I think it's important to keep in mind that yes, they are rules, but at the same time, they're not rules to gain salvation, right? Like they are rules to be the guide rails so that your life is able to be lived at its fullest and with its full purpose and intent. And so,
there are blessings that come.
Yes.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
this one
and-
is a blessing in itself, really.
And I really think that it has to do with that fullness of life too, like that
Yeah.
that ability to live your best life, right? Or whatever people say now.
Don't get me started.
YOLO. So do the 10 Commandments, right? I don't know. Ignore all of what I just said right now. No. So I think it'll be good. I think it's a good frame of mind to keep when we're looking at the 10 Commandments. That it's not like the problem that the Pharisees had was they took these 10 Commandments and they over restricted everything in order to not break this, we'll do it this much, and then in order not to break that, we're going to do it this much, and it just never ended. And so they were just doing things to do things and not necessarily as loving the Lord.
Well, I mean, think about it. You go to a personal trainer and you say, "My goal is I want to drop 30 pounds. I want to bulk up. I want to be shredded. I want whatever. I want my skin to clear up. All right, cool. So what do? They
Yeah.
put together a meal plan. They say if that's your goal, you're going to eat less of this. You're going to show up at 6 a.m. You're going to do this much of this and this much of that. And then you're going to end up here. You have the free will to choose whether to or not do what they say to do. And your results are the result of your choices.
Yeah.
So God says, here's the rules. And if you want to end here, this is what you do. If you don't want to do it, you're going to end up over there. If you want to end up over here, follow the rules.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very much, sir.
But yeah, I mean, this is one though. Like I said, there's built-in blessing with this one that and it's automatic because God designed us, He created us, and He knows what we need. This is one of the ones that's definitely a need. And if you're looking for His love in the Ten Commandments, I mean, this is an easy one to spot.
Yeah.
When it comes to His relationship with us, this is an easy one to spot. Hey, man, slow down. It's time to give yourself some rest.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm excited for it. So with that, welcome to the Truth Response.
In the noise, in the fire, we seek the truth. We climb higher, not just echoes, not just talk. We walk the path, we walk the walk. Truth in the battle, light in the loss. What we seek, clarity in chaos.
All right. Why don't you pray for us today, Dave?
Okay. Thank you, Jesus, so much for being in us all the time and creating us to be a light in a darkened world. And we pray that you step in and guide our thoughts, guide our actions, and show us exactly what you were trying to say in Scripture when you talk about keeping the Sabbath holy, and help us communicate it in a way that enlightens somebody and educates somebody and inspires somebody. In Jesus' name, amen.
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 So why would God command His people to rest?
Because we need it.
Yeah, but there's a lot of people that don't believe that.
I mean, there's people that want to burn the candle at both ends. Eventually, what's going to happen though is, they're going to crash and burn. They're going to burn themselves out, or they're going to wear themselves down. That's when sicknesses happen. That's when fatigue happens. That's when sometimes injuries happen. Is when you're pushing it too far. Even some of the best bodybuilders, they work out constantly, but they know that there's periods of rest you need to have in. Your body has to recover.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it's the same. It's not just your body. It's also your mind. Your mind needs to be able to have times of rest. I love, we had Jesse come here and preach, and he was teaching on Sabbath one time. I love something he said so much. He's like, sometimes if you work with your hands, then you got a Sabbath with your head. And if you work with your head,
Yeah,
you
I
got a
remember
Sabbath
that
with
too.
your hands. And I was like, that's actually
Interesting.
really great for a person like me. I do so much, in ministry, I do so much with my head, when I'm teaching or preparing lessons and studying and all this stuff, that what refills my bucket is when I get to work with my hands,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I have very hands-on hobbies.
I think that is solid starting advice.
Yeah.
I do. I think that, well, the reason I say starting advice, like if you haven't done it before,
It's a starter set.
I
Yeah.
mean, some people rest in the same way they end up working. Like it's just a different.
Well,
It's a different way, like I don't know. Like for instance, I'm gonna be teaching, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm gonna be using my brain a lot. I'm gonna be using the talker a lot. But man, I rest when I'm with a group of friends and we're just shooting the breeze. Like
Sure.
that's
Yeah.
especially if we just do the rabbit hole stuff, right? Like where we just go down rabbit holes of thought and talk and logic and philosophy and all of that, like that's how I rest probably the best.
Yep.
So I don't know. I think that's a good place to start, especially if you don't know yourself, which most people don't really know themselves very well.
They really
Like,
don't.
They don't know their preferences. They don't know their like how to rest for them. You know, like it's not a one size fits all thing. So
Well, like you get a lot of people, they will fight you on the concept of rest because they equate rest to sitting on the couch or laying in bed, and they go like, "Dude, I don't rest, man. I don't like just sitting there and doing nothing." Like, well, rest isn't just doing nothing. It's doing
Right.
something that makes you feel it's not work. It's
Yeah.
like, like for instance, I know a guy who when he has a day off, he likes to go organize his garage. For some reason, that just fills his tank.
yeah, yeah.
Putting order to chaos, I guess.
Yeah, Lizzie's the kind of person who she wants to just veg out, read a book, do nothing, and I'm the kind of person who's like, oh, let's go, let's go hang out, let's go out, let's go play a game, let's go do something, like, so I think rest looks very, very different for each person, and try different things until you figure
Yeah.
out what
Figure
it
out what
looks like
fills
for
you
you,
up.
right?
What resets your meter?
Why do we often feel guilty when we're resting?
I mean, I think there's so much pressure. Yeah, I can remember. I mean, you're a little bit younger than me, but you could probably still remember.
I'm
you know,
only a few years younger.
so, but you can definitely remember. Like, but when I was growing up, there was things took longer. Even like, it's weird to say that, but it did. And things were already sped up compared to how they used to be, but they took longer. So, for instance, if you wanted to reach someone, you had to call their house.
Yep.
And if they were home or not home, whether they answered the phone or not, all these things were factors on whether you're going to get a hold of them. And, you didn't get constant contact and you didn't get all this stuff. So, I love using this example, but it makes the most sense to me. Like if someone was working as a construction foreman and he went into the office, he collects his messages, he must make a few phone calls, then he goes out to the job site. Well, something's missing, something's not there. He's got to go back to the office.
Yep. Pick up the phone.
And he's got to get to a phone and he's got to make some calls and and it took longer to do that. Now, because we have the phones on us all the time, we're just expected to be like this.
Yep.
Well, that expectation of constantly going has spread to every avenue of our lives. It used to be great. You think about it, the difference between a text message and a pen pal. You used to have to take and write out on a piece of paper a letter to someone, put it in an envelope, stamp it, write the address on, send it in the mail,
and then
wait for it to get to them, wait for them to open it, wait for them to decide to write back, and wait for them to take that letter and put it in the mail, and then wait for it to get to you. There was a lot of waiting that happened, and that was the norm. So
Right.
people were okay with this is how life is. But as we've been able to make things more instant, faster, and all those things, we moved our expectations along with them. And so now, worse than ever in our lives, I think that we're too comfortable with the speed we can do life with.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. I keep calling it the Amazon culture. It's like now they're building a fulfillment center up the street, so now we can get our stuff within an hour. And it's
Did you ever see that commercial that they did where it was like, it started out with like Amazon being like 4 days and then 2 days and then same day and then all of a sudden like somebody's walking up to their door and Amazon package like is delivered and they're like, I didn't order this, but you will.
But you're right.
And like it's like
That's hilarious. That's creepy.
That's crazy, right? Like
Creepy
it was a
and
funny
scary, but
commercial, but
hilarious.
yeah, no, that hits the nail on the head too. Like
It does.
it I mean, I remember going around riding my bicycle all over town to all of my friends' houses and hoping one of them was there.
Yeah.
Oh,
to go
you
hang
look
out,
for
you
where
know?
the bikes are, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and the biggest mind crunch on this is that like you go back there when it took longer, driving around, knocking on people's doors, calling, waiting for them to call you back. Could you look at that time and say, "Man, I just felt so discontented. Like it was so frustrating."
No, and you didn't feel like you wasted
No.
time unless you went to everyone's houses and nobody
Right.
was home. I mean, that happened a
just
couple of times, but
accepted defeat.
usually you didn't. You didn't look back on that and you're like, oh, that was a waste of time.
No,
You know.
but now
it's
now it
terrible.
feels like we have more access to everything, but yet we're discontented.
And we don't know. And you know what's
Always.
funny is like this is part of the problem of some of the stress and anxiety issues of the younger generations. These younger generations are dealing with more depression and anxiety and stress and than we ever did, and as at their ages. And it's hard for people to keep that in mind. You know, like I said, we got used to waiting.
Yep.
When you made plans with someone, you say to them, even if you talk to them on the phone or you saw them the next day, hey, I'll meet you here at noon. And
Yep.
they're like, yeah, noon, great. You shake on it, you spit on it, whatever you want to do, right? So you decide you're going to meet there at noon. And it's even more nerve-wracking if it was a proposed significant other, where if it was a guy or girl meeting there, you know, and they're like, okay, here we go. And so you had to go and pray, hope. You lived on hope that when you got there at noon, that person would get there around that time. And here's the scariest part, right? Is that if the person didn't show right at that time, then became the game of how long do I wait
Yep.
before I have to give up on this endeavor.
Yep.
Yeah, but now I send you a text message and I'm stressed out if you haven't texted me back in like 2 minutes.
Yep.
And
I'm like, and you're notorious for not texting back. So you stress me out all the time.
I'm sorry it stresses you. I tend to put my phone down. I actually had to learn to do this from my wife because I used to be constant. My wife she's the opposite. She'll go and she'll just put her phone down and forget she has a phone for a while.
Right.
And I'll be trying to get a hold of her and I can't. I actually used to use
Why do we have a phone for you?
I have cameras in my house that I've used for my kids, and they have speakers. And I've actually gone and talked through my camera system
you
to
check your
tell
phone,
someone,
please?
get your mom to get her phone. Like, that's the extreme other. So I kind of started to meet her a little closer to the middle
Yep.
and find ways to, like, okay, like if I'm working on something, put the phone down, I'll get to it. You know, if I'm driving, stop looking, I'll get
Yep.
to it. You know, all these things, like, I don't need to be, you know, I don't know. I guess I felt so much anxiety that it feels better just to put it down. I do feel bad. But the other problem I have is that sometimes I'll read a message and go, I'll reply to that. And then I'll put the phone down and forget that I haven't replied. And then later I'm like, oh, I meant to reply to all this stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, okay, so what does our inability to rest reveal about our hearts then?
Ooh. Well, I mean, it reveals more than we want to admit. I mean,
Yeah, it does.
What is our God at that point? What are we serving? Are we serving our own egos? Are we people pleasers that want to feed the needs of others?
Wait, you mean in that it could be revealing that we have an idol?
Yeah. Yeah, it could. It could. Work can be an idol. Well, play can be an idol too, but like, is it something that gives you, I always do 3 categories: is control, significance, or comfort. And so is it something that is bringing you control, significance, or comfort? And the reality is that we're not really in control of anything. Our significance is not found in anything but God, and our comfort is found in nothing but God. So really, if you're trying to find those things in anything but God, then you might have found yourself an idol. You know, but that's the reason, like, I wanted to bring into this, and I'll bring it in now. So, and we talk about, and I mentioned earlier, the Sabbath is for us. It is, it's made for us. And I think Jesus articulates it really well. And I was looking in the NLT. I know it's not your favorite.
It's not my favorite, but it's...
I was looking in the NLT, but I loved
terrible.
how they worded this.
Yep.
I loved how they worded this in Mark 2, verse 27. Jesus is talking about the Sabbath, and it says, then Jesus said to them, the Sabbath was made to meet the needs of people and not people to meet the requirements of Sabbath. And and it's the needs of the people. You guys don't understand how much you need this, how you need to separate from these things. And I want you to point out that in the scriptures, right, it says that it's made so that we can rest and look to God. It's the rest and working on a relationship with God. It's like, hey man, put all that other stuff away. You just relax and focus just on me today.
What was the verse? What was the reference?
Mark 2:27. Mark 2:27.
Yep. All right.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's important to understand. I mean, these people were freaking out because, you know, his disciples were doing things on a Sunday. And that's what he says. He's like, no.
It's an interesting translation of it because
I love it.
It goes from this word of to meet the needs of to meet the requirements of.
Mm-hmm.
That's the contrast. It's not even like to meet the needs of the Sabbath, right? But rather the requirements. That's a different like tone.
Right?
Yeah, it is. And to me, it's the difference of like when you see, and I think about some of the Hasidic Jews who are uber about this law and to incredible lengths. And they have such, here's my problem.
Here's your problem.
I'm gonna word it this
Here we
way,
go.
and I think it'll correlate to this. They have such devotion to the law.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather have that devotion to the Lord.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
If there is such devotion to the law.
But if you have devotion
Now-
to the Lord, wouldn't you have devotion to the law?
Yeah, but it's to the degree, like, at what point are you worshiping the law? At what point are you
That's good.
taking your eyes off of God and understanding why he gave it to you and just focusing on the law and making sure it's done to the letter? We're not supposed to be stressed out. I mean, Jesus told us, like, my burden is easy, my yoke is light.
Yep.
You know, we don't need to be going and stressing ourselves out about this. That's where grace comes in.
Yep. Well,
You know,
okay, you've been married how long?
10 years.
10 years.
Almost 13.
Almost 13. Okay, so I'm sure you have gone through the moments where you've had whole weeks where you're just like busy trying to get stuff done, and you feel like you're accomplishing a whole bunch. And then at one point, you're laying in bed and you go up and you spoon with your wife, and at some point you go, God, I miss this, right? And it's that moment where you go, I like you a lot more than I have let on recently, and I'm very sorry.
Yeah.
It's like, and so I think God will put these things in place. We're like, remember, this is why you're doing this. You know, it's like, stop running so hard. I see you feel like you're accomplishing a whole bunch, but I'll bet you 10 to 1 you're not accomplishing as much as you think you are.
What's interesting about that, well, I went on sabbatical this summer with my wife. It was actually my wife's sabbatical, but we were sent to this place called Sunscape, and it is a retreat center
In Colorado.
in Colorado Springs for couples in ministry. Really is what it's designed for, or ministers, and it was super awesome. But one of the things that we hit on was so often we are so busy, and our mindset is that if we take that day of Sabbath,
Yep.
we're not going to get the things done we need to get done. But not only do studies show, but everybody that had tried it, like, actually established that Sabbath in the past that was there, said that they found that they got more done, they remembered more, they were more efficient at things by taking that Sabbath than if they had worked through that Sabbath on the same things. And so, like, it's something that is counterintuitive, especially to anybody in ministry. Like, a lot of times we just want to duck our heads and keep going, you
Sure.
know, and not stop. I mean, so here's some things that to think through, I guess. The way they talked about it was as what are the fish that swim upstream? I'm not good with
Salmon.
Salmon. Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go. Duh. So
Some people like to say Solomon.
Vitamin.
nah, I don't do that. So anyways, so you're going against the current.
Yeah.
Right. And they talked about, like, figure out what your currents are. What are the things that are going against you, you know, throughout the week? Some things were that for me was like leadership expectations, right? Feelings of betrayal in my recent past, even fear of, if I don't, then this will happen. And the business to do ministry, you know, that busyness, that to do ministry stuff. Those are the things that you're working against on a regular basis, right? Those are your currents that you're working against. But the cool thing is that God has designed these deep pools where you can rest. It's not where you live, but it's where you rest, right? And so some of those deep pools for me are getting to sleep in every once in a while.
Yeah.
So if it's even possible, because the routine, it just kills that sometimes, but at least laying in bed, right? Writing and listening to music, right? That's a big one for me. That is a pool that allows me to just process everything and just get carried away. Sometimes journaling is really good for me. That's one of those things that more goes hand in hand with, like, if there's a specific task that I've been doing, journaling it to debrief will help me to just be in that rest period in that. And sometimes these deep pools are not like your whole day Sabbath. Sometimes they're like 5 minutes of your day. And it's like a what they called a Selah moment, right?
Yeah.
In Scripture, the word Selah doesn't have necessarily a direct translation from the Hebrew, but what it means is like pause, reflect, take a moment, think about what was just said, think about what was just done, think about what's going on. So, like having these, and they called it regular rhythms throughout your week, helps with that rest. And to try to explain all that we went through and learned and did and all that at the retreat would be ridiculous, but like it just, there's not words for it.
We might get sued.
Yeah, well, no, but there is just something to it that is important, though, that idea that these deep pools are something you need to figure out for yourself, and regular rhythms of Sabbath and Selah are a necessity. And the cool thing is that God didn't give us rest for after our work is done.
Right?
I mean, think
Now
about
he's
when the
touching
Sabbath starts. It doesn't start, at the end of their day, right? That's
Yep.
the end of their day was actually different. This day, their day started in the night.
Yep.
Is the evening,
But-
and you get up from your rest, and then you start the work of your day. So we're supposed to operate from a place of rest,
Yeah.
not get so exhausted that we can't do anything but.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I think so. I have found that for me, I have a kind of like a spectrum of where I Sabbath, and it starts. So on one side is something I do with my hands, and the other side is almost doing nothing. So, for instance, like one of my pools, like on this side, might be my wife and I like to have what we call lazy days. Lazy days
yeah.
is her and I will be like, all right, screw it, we're gonna put everything away. We're gonna sleep in a little bit. We're gonna relax. We're gonna make some comfort food. Maybe we'll watch a video and just enjoy time with each other, with our kids, and that's it. That's a day. Just let it go today.
Yeah.
And then I like activities like on the other side of that, going a little this way. It's like I also spend times. I love watching movies and TV shows. I love video games because it's kind of a mindless thing that I can do.
Yeah.
And then right in the middle would be something like I like playing my guitar and learning new songs. So it's kind of soothing to me, but at the same time, I'm kind of working at it. And then it goes from there. It's like I love doing my painting. It's very zen for me, but it's something with my
Very zen.
it is painting, and then fishing, and then working on cars. That's how.
Wow,
that's
yeah,
kind of
quite a bit. That's impressive.
Yeah, and so where I'm feeling, where there's how hard I'm working, how I'm stressed, everything I'm feeling, and I'll find one of those things on that, and that's how.
It must be nice to be able to have that many different options. Like,
Just-
seriously though,
I just
'cause, like,
know that's
Yeah.
my happy zone. I mean,
Yep.
they're one.
I would argue most of our listeners would probably say, "I don't have that many, man."
Right.
Like,
Yeah, I definitely don't have that many. I mean, I have a lot of.
It took a lot of
hobbies, but-
intentionality to
must be
figure
great to
this
be a
out.
pastor and have so many things you can do to
It's-
unwind.
oh my
Yeah.
gosh,
Oh my
first
gosh.
off-
To do nothing all day long is great.
Notice, like, I
mean,
only get to pick like one at a time.
Right.
Like, okay, I don't get to go. Oh, I'm going to spend a few weeks doing
Yep.
all this stuff.
As a qualifier, he doesn't do this weekly.
Yeah.
No, but I think you nailed something on the head, though, is there are so many people that look at life as a checklist. And once I get all 10 items done, then I can rest, right? And we do this, we've been trained to do this by society on a micro and a macro level. So on your macro level, you go, okay, work as hard as you can. don't rest until you get to 65 and then stop. Right?
Yeah.
And as soon as you get to 65, then stop. And most people, when they get to 65 and day 2, they go, this sucks. I'm so, like, this doesn't work for me. And then they go back to work, right?
Well, that's the same example of, like, not dating your spouse throughout your kids growing
That's
up.
actually incredibly important.
Right?
It's a great point.
I mean, but that's that same thing.
Yep.
What do I do now?
Yep.
Okay.
I haven't rested ever, right?
Right.
Like I've never rested. I'm 65 years old, and now what do I do? This is horrible.
Right.
Whereas it's meant as a gift and a blessing.
Yep.
But it's also a command.
Yep.
So let's use what you just said to really flesh this out even more. So we talk about the fact this is a day to help work on our relationship with God, to enjoy the rest He gives us, and then also the only thing we really need to pay attention to is things we worship Him through the things that we do. But it's just as like when, like you said, marriage, wonderful. So my wife and I have to be intentional about setting those times, setting times that, okay, we need date nights. And if I find out, like one of my close friends, if I think that they're not doing certain things with their wife, I'll start to get on them. So if I start catching wind of it, you're going to start.
All right.
Like if I hear complaints, that's it. So, but no, you got to have date nights, and you got to also do like some time away, with like, so even if it's an overnight, go like, so my wife and I, it's not as often, but we'll do an overnight somewhere, just her and I, just to get away, just be man and wife.
Disconnect from
and
daily
then,
life.
And then the next step there is that less frequently again, but there's time where we need to vacation together.
Yeah.
Just her and I. And so, but you got to have these things built in, and you don't want to disregard them. One of the first and most important things, if you want to teach your kids anything, is show them what a healthy relationship looks like. Show them what a healthy marriage, that you put your spouse first, and they're going to know that this is important. And so that's if you want to raise your kids the right way, your marriage needs to come first. And you're not going to want to look back on your life and go, oh, I don't even really know who my wife is anymore, what she's into, what she's doing. You don't want to look at your husband and go, I don't really know him. We've just been coexisting, and then suddenly you have to spend time together. And you don't know how to do that. You want to spend time on the relationship. You want to get to know each other, because look, this life is going to give you punches in the face as well as other regions. And if you want to be able to survive, having a partner that was designed for you to go through this with, that is meant to just pick you up when you're feeling down and vice versa, man, spend time on that relationship. God can help you get through everything that's possible to go through. But you want to work on that relationship so you can have the confidence and hope in Him.
So that's great, guys. But what does that have to do with Sabbath? Well, what that has to do with Sabbath is intentionality. It takes you being intentional about taking and setting aside that time to Sabbath, to rest. And it's weekly.
And recognizing when you need
and
extra.
to some degree, it's daily.
Oh, yeah.
There's little moments in each day. The Selah moments. We'll call them Selahs, right? Like those little moments every day. You need to have some routine in them. It needs to be a regular, and it's going to take sacrifice.
Yep.
Because I would guarantee that most of you, not all of you, most of you aren't doing it.
You know who you are.
I mean,
the ones
seriously,
who
like,
are, the ones who are
pointing
arguing
fingers
against
at
this,
people.
the ones who are like, well, they have time to relax. You're the one who needs to relax.
right? Yes, absolutely. That's true though. And until you take a chance, it's kind of like trusting God with your tithes, right?
Sure.
Like trusting Him with your offerings. When you trust Him with your money, you'll find that you're never without.
Right.
Like He always supplies what you need.
Yep.
And it's the same thing with rest. Like once you decide that, yes, I'm going to devote this time to rest as God has commanded me to,
Yep.
He's always going to fill in the gaps.
Always.
It's just another area that He's filling in.
Yeah, and it is a bit of a discipline. But there's also, I think, like for instance, when that things have been extra heavy, sometimes it gets that way. It's good to recognize that and go, okay, now what can I do to bring more rest into it, whether it's going on a vacation or anything. Like, don't get me wrong, vacations aren't the end all be all. A lot of people put all their hope in a vacation. They stress themselves out about getting there, and then they go and they don't have a great time. Then they come back and they're not rested.
I wasted
That is
all that
not
time
a
and
Sabbath.
money.
That is a stress.
Yep.
just removed into a new place. So I mean, for instance, so for me, recognizing that like the past few months have been very stressful because, my work has put a lot. I know a lot of people think that pastors just work on Sundays, but there's a lot I've done over the past few months.
Youth pastors
that is
Sunday
to
nights.
make all this work for all my students and all this such. And then on top of that, you got your family stuff and all the other stuff. And then eventually you're just running so hard and so long that you're like, man, I need a break. And so actually that's why I will not be here for 2 weeks. So just so I need to put things down. I need to let go, and not feel like I have to be there. And also it's great to make sure that you have people and things set up so that you can do that, don't let your pride get in the way and say, if I'm not doing it, then it's not going to get done. It's going to fall apart.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Build people up to be able to do the things you can do. Like I'm so pleased and blessed that God has given me a team that I know that I can step out and just, they can run it.
Yep.
And that is a blessing and a half, but it was a little intentional, you know what I mean? To make sure that, these people know how this goes. And so, shoot, you can get sick. And do you have to cancel things because you got sick? Do you, if I need to step away, can the show go on, so to speak, without me here? Or what if an emergency happened? You know what I mean? So these things are important, and the program that I run is important for these students. It's not about me. It's not about any one member of my team. It's about the students. And so we all work together for them.
Yep.
And it needs to happen for them, whether it's me there or me not being able to be there.
In fact, I would even say all of us, regardless of our ministry, and I think we might have mentioned this last week, you need to do your ministry in a way in which if you were gone, it would still keep going.
Legacy. Yep.
Yeah.
So, the mass revelation that I've had recently is, so if you take the analogy of like get to the end of your life and then you stop. Now you start shrinking it down. I want to work as hard as I can to get to the end of the year and then take a 1-week vacation where I can stop. And what do you do the entire time? You're stressed about all the stuff you've left behind. A lot of it's rooted in pride. Well, I'm not there. It's not going to get done. Then you shrink it down even more and say, I'm going to work as hard as I can to get to the end of the week, and then I'm going to take 1 day off, and that'll be my day of rest. And what do you typically do on your day of rest is you typically get all the stuff done around the house you neglected to do throughout the week.
Yeah.
So the big revelation that I had, which I didn't even realize until we were sitting here talking about it, was when I first started as a house painter back up in Minnesota when I was 19. My boss used to do this thing where we would be hard at work, and all of a sudden he's like, "Hey, Racer, put the brush down for a second." I said, "Okay, come on outside." And then we would start throwing the football back and forth for 10 minutes. He's like, "All right, we're good. Let's go back inside." And it was this forced, like, we're stopping working. We're going to have our brains do something else, and then we're going to come back to work, right?
Yeah.
And so what I realized was it instilled this thing where, like, for example, the other day I was doing a whole bunch of estimates, which is the worst part of my job. I hate it. It's like sitting there, just this mindless activity of just numbers. And then my daughter came and sat down next to me, and I said, "So what are you up to?" And she said, "Nothing. I'm done for the day." And I was like, "That's cool." And I'm just working, and all of a sudden I just shut the laptop, and I said, "All right, we got 45 minutes till I got to go to this thing." I'm like, "Let's go get ice cream." And it was just this finding the ability to just stop, reset your brain, stop working for a minute, and find the small moments to stop.
And
Right.
you know what? And you're displaying something when you do that. There was a story I heard. I think it was in a sermon. I'm not sure. I can't remember where I heard it, but it would hit me hard, mainly emotionally, because I thought this is beautiful. But it was about this young kid that was like, "Hey, Dad, I want." And his dad was just worked all the time, and he's like, "Dad, I want. Can we play?" And Dad never really had time. He had to do this or that. And then one day, the kid comes to his dad and goes, "Dad, how much do you make an hour?" And the dad was a little offended at that question. He's like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "No, I just how much do you make an hour?" And Dad was like reluctant, but told him, "Well, I make about this amount an hour." And the kid's like, "Okay," and walks out of the room. And a few minutes go by, and the kid walks back up, takes his piggy bank, and goes, "I want to buy an hour of your time." Oh. And it hit Dad so hard, and it should. And so the dad put everything away, gave the kid his money back, and spent time. But I mean, like, man, our kids desperately need our time. Our spouses desperately need our time. And whether we're willing to admit it to ourselves, we need our time. And God has designed it so that we can do that and spend time with him and be refreshed and renewed. We don't have to keep going all the time.
One of the most amazing things that happened to me on this last short cruise is we were out doing this jet ski thing, and we were out in the middle of the water, and the guide was waiting for the rest of them to kind of come in, and I sat there and I leaned over to my wife and I said, "You know what's wild? The world hasn't stopped." I'm like, I haven't looked at my phone in several hours. It's like, and the world is still turning. Isn't that crazy? It's like, and that's it. It's like we feel like we're the person, like we're the hamster in the wheel that's keeping the electricity running. And if we step off the wheel, the whole world would just stop with like all the electricity goes away.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, the second place you guys went on the sabbatical was a place in Georgia that I had been to before. And the most wonderful thing about this for me and my family was that there's no internet and there is terrible cell phone reception. And so what we did is, knowing this ahead of time, because they warn you, but just so you know, but it's wonderful because what we did is we took all our devices and we put it up in a cabinet and we said, they're off limits.
Yep.
And we just spent our time without them. And well, number one, it was amazing time with our family where we're just being with each other in ways that you're just not sometimes, and more present in the moment in what we're doing. But it's so important to know that you can disconnect from the wheel. You know, yet the world kept going, and there's a little nervousness that comes like, well, what if something happens, or what if somebody needs to reach me, or something, blah, blah, blah. You'll get to it.
Yep.
Live. It isn't all about being there at every possible second for everyone else. You got to live your life too.
Yep.
And it was a Christian retreat center that we were at. And so, you know, it was good to be able to do that. And, you know, one of the things that my wife and I loved so much was taking that extra time we had, and we worked in a spiritual practice with each other, where we would get up, make a coffee, go out on their lanai they had, and read our Bibles together. And it was so nice. And, you know, because the rush, the busyness, the other distractions were just gone. You know, and that was an area that you kind of had to be. But man, think about what it is to actually be intentional about putting that Sabbath into your daily, into your weekly.
I was going to say, like, and are you guys still doing that regularly?
Uh-oh.
Well, honestly, we actually are getting ready to start doing it in the mornings again.
Good.
Because our schedules got weird for a while and we weren't able to.
But the answer to that question was no.
No.
Right.
So, I think it's awesome that you guys are being intentional about focusing on that, because we're in the process of doing it. But that's how it ends up for a lot of us who have found those moments and been like, oh, this is so great, we should do this, and then it just ends up fading into the background. And that's something I feel like we need to fight harder.
Yeah.
For that rest, for those moments of Sabbath, for those days of Sabbath. We need to fight more for that.
Yep.
Than we have been. As believers, we're commanded to do it. We're commanded to have this gift, right? This is a gift that's been given to us,
right?
And we're commanded to have it,
right?
Because it's a necessity for our soul,
right? And again, you go back to personal trainers. If you say, hey, tomorrow you're not working out, your muscles need time to regenerate, and you wake up and you go start working out, you have ruined the program and you're messing everything up, right? So when God says, I need you to stop and remember why you're doing this in the first place. It's like, and we go, nope, we just got to keep going. I mean, even I've read studies where they talk about when you get a nurse who works a double, it's like she is half as productive in the second half of that thing because her body is not designed, or not designed to work that many hours straight. You need time to stop, reset. That's why even like, I think it's in, was it Europe, where they have like a 2-hour break in the middle of the day. It's like literally all the stores shut down.
Yes.
Everybody goes home. Yeah, the siesta time.
So
right?
Let's think about this. We're going to use the original context to get a better understanding for today. And it won't take long. But think about the fact that God says, look, I'm the God that brought you out of Egypt, and here's why I'm giving these things, right? In Egypt, they didn't get this kind of time. They were slaves.
Yep.
right? They were work, 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 work. God says, first off, I'm your God, and I say you can take this day. Think about for those who were used to not having a day, how grateful for their God that they would have been when they received this.
Yep.
How much that would have led to a real kind of worship and a real kind of rejuvenation of not only themselves, but in their relationship with God. Now, why can't we find those same things here? Because God's saying, yeah, you're not slaves to the system, you're mine.
That's right.
And I say, you can spend the time.
Yeah. That's so good. For sure. Now, to those of you who are like, well, in order for me to do this, I might have to shut my phone off. Or I might have to not answer phone calls from people that I feel are important.
Okay.
It's okay.
Yep. They actually
It's okay to do that.
Yep. They actually have
Even
a mode
if it
on your
irritates your co-host.
for sure. They even have a mode
Yeah.
on your phone. You swipe it down, tap a button, and it will only allow, let's say, your mom and your dad to call you. Everybody else will get blocked.
Or just don't receive phone calls. I mean, because here's the thing. In all reality, if someone's not with you, there's not a whole lot you can do with or for them. Right? So, like, there's some things, sure. But, and there's exceptions to all of the rules, right? Of course, universals don't exist.
Of course.
But there's not a whole lot you can do for them, right? So like whatever that thing is that they're wanting or needing, quote unquote needing to call you about, can wait till tomorrow.
They can.
They
And
can wait till tonight.
Yeah.
Whatever, whatever that looks like, your Sabbath set apart. Like, and you know what? There's going to be people that are upset by that.
Yep.
But it's also an important thing that we're called to do.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so who's more important? Right? That's one of those moments that you have to decide is your mom and dad more important? And I'm not talking to you kids, right? Do
we have any children
We're
listeners?
getting to that one, right? We're getting to that one. I don't know if we've got it, but I'm just saying we're getting to that commandment, right?
It's
Got some
coming.
7-year-old held up in his bedroom.
Are your parents, more important? Or is your work more important? Are your kids more important than God and His commands and what He wants from you? And if the answer is yes, you definitely need to take some time and check your heart. And it's not an easy question. It's not an easy thing to be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna give over all these things so that I can receive this blessing of rest, like, and put you first, God. Like, it's not an easy thing to do. It costs you everything,
And it
as
takes a lot of
people say,
trust and, dare I say it, faith.
Ooh.
Because, you talked earlier about trusting God with your money, right?
Yeah.
But all the three things that are valuables of yours are always time, talent, and treasure.
Right.
Well, you talked about trusting Him with your treasure. And we trust Him with the things we can do. He's given us the ability to do things. We trust Him with our talent, but are we trusting Him with the most precious resource, which is our time? Because we all only get certain amounts. There's no buying more.
Yep. Well, and then I'm having this revelation as I'm sitting here thinking. It's like, so my 17-year-old daughter is by far my best friend. She is phenomenal. I love her to death. There was a day several weeks ago where she worked all day. She came home and then kind of briefly said hello to me, and I knew there was nothing else going on that night. I was like, cool, we all get to hang out. I get to hang out with my best friend. It's great fun. So she gets changed. She comes out, and I think she had made it after dinner or something like that, from what I remember. So she came in, she's making dinner, she comes in, she sits down, we talk for a couple of seconds, then she's on her phone, and I said, what's so important? And she said, I'm just responding to my best friend. I was like, all right. So she's texting with them a little bit, and then she said, okay, what are we watching? So we just put something on, we're on it for like 30 seconds, and then she said, I'm so sorry, popped up, took a phone call, went to her room, and I didn't see her for the rest of the night, right? And in my head, I was like, I was so excited to spend this evening with you. I was like, now I could be the jerk and be like, hey, get off the phone, come spend time with me. But I don't want to necessarily pull her time. But as I'm sitting here, I'm like, how many times have I done that to God? Where I said, tomorrow morning, you and me, 5 a.m., I'm going to sit right here, and then I spend my time working or answering text messages or something, and he's probably sitting up there going like, I just want to spend 5 minutes with you, brother. Give me 5. Give me 10. Give me an hour. It's like, so I just had a thought just then.
Yeah, it's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people on that same line of thinking, a lot of people choose like, hey God, I want this thing. Hey God, could you let me have this thing? I want this blessing in my life. Hey God, could you lead me through this? And it's like the equivalent of a father that going with a little son that comes up to him, hey Father, I want this little fire truck, and he's like, oh, okay, I'll give you the fire truck. And so he gives him the fire truck, and then the father goes, hey, why don't you come sit on my lap, come spend some time with Dad. He's like, nah, I'm busy playing with my fire truck. You know,
ooh, dang. Okay.
yeah, you know what I mean? And it's
there's a sermon in there.
Oh, I know.
Ooh. Okay.
I'm busy playing with my fire. No. Person that gave you the fire truck over here. Like, there can be more fire trucks. There can be a better. You never know. Spend time with the Lord. He blesses us with everything that we have, including the breath and thoughts and souls. Spend some time with the dude.
Mm-hmm. Dang, the very thing God that you've been praying for could be something that God gives you that will distract you from being with God. Oof.
Yep.
Boy, oh boy.
Yeah, you like that one.
Yeah, that's good. That was like getting sucker punched by somebody.
Yeah.
I couldn't think of a single athlete who throws punches.
Mike
Holyfield.
Tyson.
Okay.
Oh, that's either way.
Yeah.
That's not bad. I like that.
Mike Tyson. Sorry.
He said it, not me, Mike, okay?
Anyway. Alrighty. We have any other thoughts on this? Or have we said there else to say? I'm sure that we never said. There's always something more to say.
Oh yeah, and I'm sure that somebody's going to be upset about this as well, and I'd love to hear your take on it and what we said wrong.
Well, and I had a conversation not too long with somebody whose father is not doing well, and so she's tied to her phone all the time. Well, I'm just constantly stressed. I'm going to get that call that something went wrong and have to rush over to his house. So I understand. Like you said, there's always exceptions to every rule. There's always that one person who's like, you're in a unique situation. Yeah. So we need to find how you can rest in your situation, right?
Yeah. Yeah. You are called to rest. If you're ever wondering what is a thing that you are called to, resting is one of them. Mm-hmm. So, remember the Sabbath, keep it holy, and take that day of rest.
Mm-hmm.
And encourage others to do likewise, and especially new Christians who are just starting out, get that habit, get that rhythm, so that you don't fall into the burnout that comes from not resting. So don't forget, we got the sweepstakes going on right now. You send us a postcard.
Oh, that's a postcard. I forgot.
Yeah, you mail us.
That's right. It was a postcard.
You have to mail us the postcard. You can't just hand it to us.
Correct.
You actually have to mail us a postcard.
That would be amazing.
To 50 Bell Boulevard in Lehigh Acres, Florida, 33971. Nope, 33936.
I would love to see
33936.
I want to see postcards from everywhere.
Right?
Yeah.
How far is our reach? Let's go, people. Send us some postcards.
And then we are gonna randomly choose one of those out of a bucket.
Yep.
And
we'll do it live.
We'll do it on air.
Yeah, I said that,
on air.
For those of you who, go to church with us, you don't count. I didn't mean you don't count. I meant you can't just hand it to us, right? Like you also have to just mail it to the church, addressed to the Truth Response or something. Yeah. Something that obviously allows people
cheating.
to know, right?
Yep.
And you will be entered to win all kinds of cool stuff.
Party pack.
Yeah, it's gonna be. We've got hat, we got T-shirt, we got keychain, we got a tumbler. What else could we give away?
Well, we're gonna sign something.
We're gonna sign.
I know
something.
we want to sign something.
We might sign it all. Who knows?
Well, I mean, if they want it signed at all, we can sign it all. But
if you don't want any of it signed, we won't sign any of it.
we should get a picture.
Right.
That would be awesome.
And if we miss something that we said we were going to give away, let us know.
Yep.
In the comments. I'm going through, our
got the
stuff.
thing.
I've got the transcript that I'm searching through right now just to make sure.
Yeah.
It's
It's going to be a prize package.
All right.
It is
I just like saying those words together. Prize
50
My wife says I'm a prize package.
Bell Boulevard. 50 Bell Boulevard,
Lehigh Acres.
Lehigh Acres, Florida.
33936.
936.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Let's get some postcards.
Send us a postcard. It could be a homemade postcard. Doesn't have to be anything like crazy, you know?
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be purchased. It could be made. Love to see some fun postcards.
And if you can fit it on there, you should include a little as a note, like one of your favorite memories of the podcast.
And
That'd be
let's
cool.
let's go ahead and put a date
I
on
like
it.
the ones that say "Wish you were here." Like,
So you have until, let's say, the end of September.
End
You
of
have till the
September.
end of September.
September
So it's
30th.
longer than we initially said with this series, but till the end of September
yeah.
to get it in.
Which
It has
means
to be
September 30th.
postmarked.
We're going to get like 30 of them on September 29th.
Postmarked
Dude, that would be hilarious.
by the end of September. And,
2026,
Yep.
And 2026.
just for posterity.
Yeah, right. And then
well, you
we
didn't
will
say this year. Yeah.
on our recording on the first week of October.
Yep.
We will pull one of those.
Sounds
It's
good.
going to be nice.
Yep.
Yeah.
Send your postcards.
Way to go into fall.
Sign up
with
on
a prize
Patreon.
package.
All that good
Yeah,
stuff.
we've got the Patreons.
Mm-hmm.
We love the Patreons.
Yep.
We love them all.
Love
We
them
do
all.
love all of them.
In fact, I think I said we could give away a month of the Patreon.
You did.
The top tier
I think
Patreon
you did.
for
Now we're remembering
for
all
that.
this
Yeah.
Goodness. It's
Which
going to be awesome.
which
regardless.
there's been songs released on there. There's been phone wallpapers. I think that's what they're called, right? It's
Background, wallpaper.
backdrop,
Yeah.
Wallpapers,
background,
yeah.
whatever.
Back wallpapers.
Back
Whatever.
wallpapers, back walls. Back walls are coming down, right?
We're going to wait for that one guy. He's like, they do not remember what they're doing. I'm just going to send messages, be like, you also said you were going to give us this. It's like,
Like, we can go back and check. Just for
Yeah. Although if
Everything's
you have
recorded.
a clever thing, I'm all ears. I mean,
Oh.
I'm up to hearing it.
It's a little nervous
So
wracking. Right
we
now.
love you guys. Thank you so much. Don't forget that you're called to rest.
Yeah.
So make it a habit. Make it routine. Take those moments that are the Selah moments to reflect on what's going on. And God bless.